Abusuafo ne tiefo ni di kwan so me patcho me ma obi bia akwa baba channel so han me daily update you obo kwan so say no first time aba channel so mesro say ni di kwan so onya videos ni bi hwe na so woni ji one please with the greatest respect subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos. My love is so nya bi enti nyakopon sha na onyo kese busia me patcho Akufo Addo no fa say friend Mary na me patcho wa stormy anasa wako NDC final rally ni ase ene ya yenso nim say NPP fon so omonso yomo final rally. It is possible for so your final rally, but with when the wajai NPP for the no and a busian for crowd woman no wajai in NDC for the because she believes say NDC led by the former president and the incoming president John Dramani Mahama and or the best person to salvage the economy and baby Ghana akudrun say busian mama kasa nyetintin video e be koni akwhwe video ni ye bia nkomachi nyakopon cha no yekes patcho me da se bebre.
Actually, a relative to His Excellency President Akufo Addo. She is the niece to President Akufo Addo. Marie Amwaku Buedu. She's a political activist from the UK. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Okay. Why are you at an NDC rally?
I'm at an NDC rally because we have to do what is right.
What is right?
What is right is for
your uncle is an MPP member and he is actually the president of the republic.
It doesn't mean anything. We have to do what is right as a nation. And what is right is that we have to vote for change. This current regime under my own uncle, President Akufo Addo, have destroyed our economy.
They have?
They have destroyed our economy. And the reason is that when they were coming in 2007, when President Akufo Addo introduced Dr. Bawumia to Ghana, he told us that Ghana's economy was down and that Dr. Bawumia was an astute economist who could bring Ghana's economy back to scratch. 16 years later actually, because they lost election 2008, they lost 2012, 2016, they lied on President Mahama. At the time they were lying on President Mahama, $1 was 4 Ghana cedis. Under an astute, a so-called astute economy, $1 is 17.20. £1 is well over 21 cedis. And you're telling me we don't government?
We're hit by exogenous factors.
No,
COVID-19, Ukraine, Russia war.
That is not an excuse. Globally, everybody was hit by exogenous factors. Recently in the UK, we changed government too. One of the excuses of the Tory government was the same thing, that it was due to exogenous factors that our economy in the UK was fluctuating. But the general public in the United Kingdom did not buy that excuse. Why? Because time had elapsed, time had moved. And if you have what it takes to revive your economy, you go ahead and do just that. Now remember, during COVID, President Akufo Addo made a very profound statement that went, global, it went viral. He said he knew how, him and Dr. Bawumia knew how to revive Ghana's economy. What they didn't know how to do was to bring dead people alive. So several years later, if Ghana's economy is currently in junk status, you're telling me we should vote for the same crop of people again? Now, outside of the economy, we have other national issues like Galamsey. President Akufo Addo told us that he was going to put his presidency on the line. He couldn't handle Galamsey. It turns out now that his own appointees are very heavily involved in Galamsey. So we have several issues to look at as we go into this election. And whichever way we look at the coin, we have to change the government. We're looking at very high, colossal losses, financial losses to the state. One of them being the National Cathedral. Who is going to recover those monies for us? So as far as I'm concerned, this election is about holding Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, my own uncle, my blood uncle, and his Vice President Dr. Bawumia. It's about holding them accountable. Not just them, but also the group of people I call the Chebi Mafia, i.e. Gabi Ochredako, Keno Foriata, Nana Santi Bedieto. All of these people have caused financial losses to the state and they need to be held accountable. So this election is about accountability.
One will also make the argument that, look, President Akufo Addo will exit power. But there is a two-face who happens to be the own policy proposals. Let's rather give him the opportunity. I mean, he has a new idea altogether. Why don't you support that?
My response to that is that a decorated monkey is still a monkey. Whatever you do to it is the monkey. Dr. Bawumia for the past 16 years is very much a part of the Chebi cartel. He is part of the problem. Now, a classic example is the United States of America. Kamala Harris recently lost an election. So we really cannot say that Dr. Bawumia was not part of this problem. We can't detach him from the problem. He's really embedded in it. Remember, he was the head of the economic management team. So Dr. Bawumia has to go. And if you recall, President Akufo Addo, candidate Akufo Addo at the time, said something very similar to President Akufo, that if he was exiting, he should exit with everybody. That's the time we are in now. He needs to go, and he needs to go with Dr. Bawumia.
If you are rating Dr. Bawumia and his boss, Akufo Addo, on a scale of 0 to 10, what
They
are you?
have failed. They failed. They
failed?
Yes, they failed. Because as we're speaking now, Ghana's economy is in junk status, and our cedi is the third worst depreciating currency on the continent of Africa. They have failed. And
So they should go.
They need to go.
You want them to go?
They're gone.
They are gone?
They're already gone.
What makes you believe that they are gone?
What makes me believe is that I arrived in Ghana 2 months ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 months.
2 months, okay.
I've been here for 2 months. And the atmosphere, you can tell from the atmosphere, Ghanaians are yearning for change. And let me quote Honorable Kennedy Japan, just to paraphrase. Honorable Kennedy Japan, who is an astute, a very core member of the New Patriotic Party, says Ghanaians don't need change. It is change that is calling Ghanaians, and we're ready for change. So God willing, on Saturday, change is going to happen. And you can tell from the atmosphere here, change is going to happen. President John Dramani Mahama is here, and he's here to stay. He's here to reset Ghana and to revive Ghana's economy and put the nation back on the right trajectory.
I'll ask you about some of the key policy proposals being captured by the NDC in their manifesto that interest you, and you think that it will work well for Ghana if indeed the NDC wins
The
power.
24-hour economy is a game changer.
Is it?
It is a game changer, because where I'm coming from in the UK, we operate a 24-hour economy. And if you look at the high unemployment in the country, just last year, Ghana Statistical Service told us that 1.3 had been added to the unemployment rate. Over 800,000 more Ghanaians are now living below the poverty line. Whichever way you look at it, we need employment. We need to put the youth to work. We have a teeming youth in Ghana, energetic youth in Ghana, majority of whom are unemployed. It is totally unacceptable. So the 24-hour economy is a game changer, and we can't wait to see its implementation, see it in effect, and see how it's going to resolve some of the unemployment issues. And then, of course, the Mahama cares. Our healthcare system in Ghana is very poor, so we definitely need the Mahama cares. There are several Ghanaians now coming up with kidney problems, heart conditions, different types of cancers. We definitely need the Mahama cares.
I'm grateful.
And then the Women's Bank, of course.
Okay. Well, I'm expecting to have a one-on-one with you maybe after today's event. So hang around. I'll get in touch with you pretty shortly. Thank you so much for speaking to us as well. So there you had Mary Amwako Buedu, who is a political activist from the UK, and she is a niece to President Akufo Addo, and she says that President Akufo Addo, together with Dr. Bawumia, they have failed woefully, and of course it is time to change, to reset the country. Mahama, my guest presidential candidate of the PNC, who a few days ago openly endorsed the candidature of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. My guest is Bernard Mona. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Maybe I can say His Excellency as well. How are you doing?
Aborted Excellency.
Please, if you can raise the microphone up a little bit.
Aborted Excellency.
One is asking, why are you here?
So that we will be able to cause the needed change that Ghana deserves. The MPP over the past 8 years have undermined every institution in this country. They have created massive unemployment among the young people. They have corrupted every noble institution of this country, and they have undermined progress of our nation to the extent that things that were functional before President Akufo Addo came into office have all been taken away. It's important that all well-meaning Ghanaians will run for change, and that is why when the PNC chose me as their presidential candidate, we offered policy alternatives to what the MPP has decided to do. Unfortunately, the MPP and the Electoral Commission connived to get me out of the ballot, and therefore the party took a decision last week that if we are not on the ballot. In terms of policy alignment, the NDC policy to the nation undermined every fabric of our society. It's important that we join them. So we are here, not just me alone. The national chairman is here, the general secretary is here, the national youth.
I think I saw the running mate as well.
The running mate is here. Everybody of the PNC, the National Executive Committee members are all here. And together we have made it a point that we are here to tell the rank and file of our party that we desire change. John Dramani Mahama represents the change that we want, and therefore that is what we are preaching, and we are hopeful that in the end the people of Ghana will hit the call for us to sweep out the MPP to bring about a new leader that will ensure that our nation is magnified and not depreciated.
You have been part of the campaign throughout, not on the ticket of the NDC but on the PNC ticket as well. But you have also observed the NDC 16 regions, the 276 of Ghana as well. What indication do you pick as far as this party is concerned?
Well, as you are aware, since last week Wednesday that we declared support for the NDC presidential candidate.
So it was actually last week Wednesday.
Last week Wednesday, we have been on tour, campaigning everywhere for the NDC presidential candidate. I was in the Upper East region, I was in the Northern region, I was in the Upper West region. I did some tours with John Dramani Mahama in the Greater Accra region, and as of yesterday we were in the Ashanti region, and we saw the depreciation of our nation. We saw that contrary to the claim that roads have been developed in this country, we had a terrible accident on our way simply because the ducks simply overwhelmed us, and before we could say jack, 3 of our cars ran over each other. It is just by the saving grace of the Almighty that we are here this morning, and the response for change is overwhelming. So I am just wondering how it is going to be, and I just want to use even my family. My wife is going to vote, and as she left home this afternoon to go to her mother's place, she called me and said it's like I took a good decision by declaring for John Mahama, because the PNC colors are almost like the NDC except the black, and that anywhere she went, my children were in the car and they were asking why is it only NDC that is campaigning, because everywhere a Yezu, a Yeza, and to the extent that people even start shouting too direct a Yezu, too sure a Yezu. To that extent, it means that look, the rank and file of our party has accepted. In fact, when people say Eyoku, then other will come and say Eyemibe, Eyemikube. So clearly, look, people have rhymed with the change that is coming, and once change is in the air, it is our chance to grab it. As Kennedy Japan will say, change needs Ghana. It is not Ghanaians that need change. So let's offer the opportunity for change to come in.
What policy proposal being captured by the NDC in their manifesto interests you, and you think that this is going to change the facet here in Ghana as well?
Oh no, we have said that the people of Ghana are looking for jobs. The MPP has come and they have undermined job creation in this country.
They have created 2.6 million jobs.
No, that is by talk. The reality is that they laid off people in the financial sector. The reality is that majority of people that were working in other places are no more in jobs. Majority of teachers have actually gone out of the shores of this country. Majority of nurses have actually left the shores of this country. And clearly you can see that the rate of unemployment is rather on the high and not on the decline. If unemployment rate is on the high, then you can imagine the absolute numbers of unemployment that we are talking about here. So if there is a policy or a program that says that we will run a 24-hour economy where those who want to work in the night, those who want to work in the middle of the night can work and up to dawn, then those who want to work in the daytime can take over, then that provides opportunity and income for the majority of the Ghanaian people. And once incomes begin to augment, you will see that even crime will come down, people's confidence will rise, and our understanding of what democracy is will grow. And so this policy of ensuring that every opportunity is provided for our young people to get jobs is super, is just, and it requires our potential to endorse them.
Corruption is all right currently under this administration. And this was something that was smeared against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama prior to the 2016 elections. But currently what we say is even in excess. But of course, the NDC is promising the oral, that is the operation recover or loot as well. Is that a possible thing to do, and how do you react to that?
Well, I don't know why you people decide to embellish stealing. This is daylight TV. what we are witnessing today is not corruption.
It's
actually thievery. Daylight stealing. They are stealing our wealth. They are taking away what belongs to us. They are touching the wealth of our nation under their beds, and you call it corruption. How is that corruption? Ministers of state can keep billions of dollars under their beds. When you know that touching dollars under your bed means that you are creating scarcity, it will actually depreciate the value. You call that corrupt. You can't call it bribery. This is daylight stealing. They are stealing. Amejo. They are stealing. Bazurong. So if they are stealing, how do you come and say that is corruption? And when you steal and you are caught, what do? Thieves are beaten. Thieves are incarcerated. Thieves, when they steal and we cut them, we take away what they have stolen. So all the wealth that the MPP has stolen from everything that we know Ken Oforata and all the people have done, we must get them back. And that is why we support the Operation Recover All Loot Oral by the NDC. You know, we cannot allow people whose understanding of policies is too weak and too meager to come and steal the wealth of our nation. Their children will grow up thinking that their parents were hardworking. Time to recover all the loot. It is time to recover all the things that they have stolen. And so when the NDC say that Operation Recover All Loot, any reasonable and rational Ghanaian who is desirous of seeing that the wealth of our nation is used for the collective good of our people, for that part.
I know you are a media-friendly type. We saw what happened quite recently at the studios of Metro TV. The rumble style with which some armed uniformed men tried to break into the studios of Metro TV. And of course, there were other series of media blackouts. We are yet to even prosecute one person for the murder of Ahmed Swale. I mean, under a president that is described to be a human rights activist as well. I am asking this because I am a media person as well. Now, do you see John Mahama giving that hope back to the media people, including yourself, who is a media friendly type?
John Mahama's expertise is communication.
Yeah.
And therefore he understands what it is to have a media friendly environment. He has been vice president before. We saw what he did. There were promotion of media freedoms. It was not just a talk shop. It was an opportunity to ensure that, look, the people rise up. And to the extent that John Mahama is coming back, I am confident that the media place will be fluid, there will be dynamism, and there will be above all a sense of assurance that journalists can perform their duties without let or hindrance. Look, what happened to Metro TV, Randy Abbey, and all the people in that place is an eyesore. In this modern day, you don't break into a live program in that manner. If you think that there was something untoward, go to the court and ensure that the court is done. Even the MPP with the bastardized judicial system, they themselves don't believe that the court should be used to do what is needful. How can we, the citizens, trust in the efficacy of the court? So I think that what we can do as Ghanaians is to ensure that we clear the MPP in order to restore sanity into the media space, to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to speak what is right and what is just, and speak truth to the authorities that be.
I'm grateful. Your final words quickly before we take leave of you.
It is time to vote out the MPP. It's time to vote in John Dramani Mahama. I have no doubt that the victory will be resounding on 7th December. I have gone around the 16 regions of this country, and anywhere we go, change is in the air. It is our time to grab that change.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So then
me pacho me do bibia se wenyamre no abenya video no bi nso ahwe busua me pacho mesra so do comment be share comment section ye beje na ya kenka me das be pacho ye den komo ni besia. Stay tuned for more updates. Me das